Hey everybody, today we are here and we are excited to talk about SEO because all day we've both been working on a lot of SEO projects and it just lended itself to a really nice topic.
Our conversation.
Yeah, so right now, just lots of people, it's probably the beginning of the new year and that kind of thing. Lots of people are wanting to invest in their website, invest in their marketing, and they're turning to SEO. But there's some people who can't really quite afford it yet, or maybe they just want to, they're more DIYs.
I'd even say that there are some people who, as the website gets launched, they go on day 2 and they go, hey, how come I'm not finding myself on the first position of Google or on first page? And I think that really is what we should talk about today is just expectations, but then also back that up with just some things that you at home, if you're a business owner or you're running a website, just some things that you can do to help get yourself found higher on the Google search engines.
Yeah, exactly. So this is for you. If you have a website, you want to rank a little higher, use these tips that we're going to offer for free today. And we're going to start with the first one, which is optimize your photos. So what people don't understand about photos is when you have your phone, it collects a lot of data. So if you can, and we were talking to someone actually about this yesterday, if you can take your own picture of your own products, the information that Google can mine from just that one picture is incredible versus a stock photo or a manufacturer's photo.
Well, and Google already has the stock photo indexed. If you're using it as a stock photo and you got it off of Unsplash or Pexels or free from Canva, well, guess what? There's probably thousands of other websites that also have that exact same picture. So Google's already indexed it. Google's not in the position of wasting space and indexing photos over and over and over again if they already have it indexed. So they're indexing it. Yes, they will display it and all that. But for original content, Google just laps that stuff up. So it loves original content. Use your phone, as Sherry just said. And then as you move it from your phone to the website, just make sure that it is named properly before you upload it. So if it's an image of you and your team, so if it's the Purple Bean team working at a job in Waterford, Ontario, name it that and then upload it. Google understands, okay, this is what it is. It's the Purple Bean team. They're in Waterford, Ontario. It's also geotagged because Sherry would have her location settings on her phone. But Google, most importantly, then says, ooh, this is new content I've never seen before. Like a kid at Christmas, they want to open it up and explore it, and they want to, because they want to map the world with images. So that's what they really want to do.
Yeah, I think one major issue that no one really quite grasps how much Google loves original content and Facebook
huge.
loves. Every platform loves original content. So anytime you can do original content, you have to do it.
Absolutely.
It just puts you well above the rest.
Yep. Another quick tip is, so people will say, hey, the website looks amazing. I did a search and I'm finding us on page 3. How come I'm not on page 1? Well, so just a couple truths here is SEO takes months to do. It's not something that you do once and all of a sudden your website's in shape. It's like going to the gym. You can't go to the gym once and then say, how come I'm not competing and looking as good as the guy that's been here every day for 6 months? Because in reality, he's been there every day for 6 months. Your competition has been posting things daily and weekly for the last 6 months. Your competition has been updating their Facebook daily and weekly, their Google My Business. They've been updating faithfully for that. Google has all of this information. Oh, and they've been taking pictures.
Yeah.
And they have all this information. Just because you have a new website does not mean that Google's going to say, hold the phone, let's put this one to the top, because they go off of authority, relevancy, and intent. So you have to make sure that you're doing those things for yourself, the off-page stuff, so that you can help Google better understand what it is that you offer.
Yeah, exactly. And like some industries are a lot easier than others. So
yes.
if you are a dentist, for instance, you're going to have to, or a realtor, you have so much competition. Some of these small free...
Here's a good one that I had. But if you make organic dog food in your city of 100,000, there's probably a half a dozen people that might do that in your city. So your competition is 6. How many realtors do we have in town here?
At least 400, I heard.
4. So your competition is 400.
Yeah.
So some things are much easier to rank for than others.
Yeah, exactly. And some things it's easy. It's like you just do these tips, boom, and you can maybe in a few months get it. But other things, like it's going back to the gym analogy, if you're training for like a marathon, you're literally training for a marathon.
Well, and SEO is a marathon.
Exactly.
It's not a sprint. You're not going to be number one day and then fall off the face of the earth. It's a slow grind, and you have to convince Google, because Google is all about answering the public. Your job, our job, the website's job is to convince Google that even though it's been giving 10 answers for the question of top realtor in town, it's been given the same 10 answers for the last 6 months. You have to convince them why your website is a better answer than the 10 they've been given. That really is what SEO is. You're optimizing to show Google that maybe you made a mistake, Google, and I think that our website should be there instead of another website.
Okay, so from that, say there's a new business in a
Yep.
decently competitive industry. So not the
Yep.
most competitive, but decently competitive. A lot of times, SEO for me and the phone calls I received, it's like almost the last type of marketing people do.
Yep.
They want, of course, a website, they want social media, they want billboards, and then after a while, they're like, we've tried everything else, now let's try SEO. But would you suggest that should actually be reversed? Get on your SEO strategy ASAP because Google senses like the authority, because you don't want to have to usurp someone. It's easier to stay at number one than to become number one.
Sure. So there's kind of 2 answers to that. One, oftentimes it's budgetary. So they would say, hey, I want to spend money on the office, on the signage, which you have to have. And traditionally we've always done billboard ads, so we're going to keep doing those. So what else can we do? So I'd say first and foremost, start doing so there's on-page and off-page SEO. On-page SEO is the stuff that we do on websites. Off-page SEO is the stuff that you can do when you link your Facebook page to your website, when you link your Google My Business page to your website, when you get a write-up in a local online a newspaper, or you're on a blog and it links to your website. That's off-page. So what you can start to do as you're thinking about marketing is, what can you do to help out? Because oftentimes what happens is we start flat-footed.
Yeah.
We look at it, we go, okay, you have nothing linking to you, you have nothing driving traffic to you, you've never run a Google ad, you've never run a Facebook ad before. There's really no traffic coming to your website, so we are completely flat-footed. You are the person that's never been to the gym in your life, and you have a marathon in 6 months. So what do? So we have to start running. But if we think about it as, hey, you've already started to do if we think about it from a marathon point of view, you've already started walking around the block. You've already started walking to work. You've already started walking up the steps at work. You're parking in the furthest parking spot instead of the closest parking spot. Now you're getting your body kind of in tune. Same thing with your website. So think of it that way, that if you're thinking about SEO, start doing the stuff that you can do on your own that just costs time and doesn't cost too much money. But B, yes, don't, as Sherry had said, don't think of it as, I've exhausted every other option.
Yeah.
I guess we'll try SEO, because at that point in time, there's still a ramp up time. So it's not like the phone rings and it's like, hey, Trev, can you do SEO for us? Sure, we can. And then by tomorrow or the end of the weekend, you're going to start getting calls. It doesn't work like that. It's depending on, as Sherry said, depending on the industry that you're in, depending on your competition that you're in, depending on the strength of your website, and so on and so forth.
Even the research leading up to getting, even if you call us, say, March 1st, we don't start March 1st. Like, it takes a lot of research to figure out what's going to work for your specific business in your specific town.
Sure,
I find it's like really research heavy.
Sure, we've got to analyze what your competition is. We have to analyze all the keywords that they're going after. We have to focus on what backlinks can we build and how can we link to you. Do you have anything out there that's also linking and saying who you are, other than yellow pages? Those would be called like citations. So is anything else backing up and validating what your claim is? And that really is what it is. That's where the authority is. who else is backing up and validating what you're claiming you are an expert at? Because if you have a Facebook page and you have a business, you are an expert at, or sorry, not a Facebook page, a website, you're an expert at that industry. If you're making, if you're making raw dog food in this area, you're an expert at making raw dog food. Mm-hmm. How can you validate that other than just saying, well, here's my website, here's my Facebook page, now call me? That stuff does happen. Mm-hmm. And that's because it's all about being in front of the right person at the right time. But more often than not, there's more people searching for your service than what you would even think that there are. So you want to make sure you help yourself by, don't think of SEO as I'm totally exhausted everything that I could possibly do. I think I'll give SEO a try. Start doing it. Do it on your own. Like it really helps us out if you start doing it on your own, and then we can see that, okay, there's people that are coming to your website. We can add analytics to it, and we can see what people are typing in and how they're finding you, and then we can start refining that for you.
Yeah. So something earlier you said was Google My Business. Google My Business is important, not just for the consumer who's or the searcher who's typing in, I need siding in Brantford, and you want to be the one on the side, or if they're typing your actual business, it's like immediate contact info. But it also helps, and that we actually talked about this earlier today with the client. When you list your services on Google My Business, you're telling, again, Google what exactly you do.
Sure, and for the purist out there, they might say, oh, it's called Google Business Pages. It's kind of the same thing. They're switching over names, but it's essentially when you type in a name, and on the right hand side, you'll see the hours that they operate. You'll see any reviews. That's kind of your we'll call it your Google My Business page. When people type in a service they're looking for, and then there's a map that shows up. Here's a tip: if a map shows up, it means that there's enough people looking for that service and wanting to connect with those businesses that offer it, that Google's like, oh, let's show the map and where everyone is. Where the map shows up and there's 3 business listings and then it says see more, that is pulled from your Google My Business page. Actually, I had somebody last week that I said, hey, you should update your Google My Business page. It was just a call that I got in, and then I logged on and I go, oh, no one has actually claimed it. Yes, Google puts those up for you for free. You can click claim this business, or I manage this business, and then you can start adding to it. So you certainly want to do that. You can add things such as, what your hours are. There's a question and answer part of it. There's products, there's services, there's events, there's updates. Your reviews will go there. There's so much that you can add in on those pages. And again, that's telling Google what it is that you do. And if 80+% of people are using Google as their search engine, the Google My Business pages are part of the Google atmosphere. So you're just giving Google more ammo to offer you up as the solution. Again, Google just wants to answer the public. That's it. Their job is to be the smartest kid in class, puts their hand up every single time when a question is asked and says, here's your top 10 answers. That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. Actually, I was saying to someone today, your website is great. Like, someone built the website and the language was beautiful, the text was great, but I'm like, as a human, I totally know what this is about because I understand the images and I know why I went on your website. But your website isn't actually telling Google what your website's about. And they were really, really surprised to see that because, we know our business inside and out. So, we read our text, we know exactly what we're talking about. But does Google? So humans, 100%, you want to be understandable. You want the language. You want people to understand why they're on your site, how to reach you. But you're also speaking to this machine. They're not going to gather things. They're not going to use our senses. They don't know how we arrived on this page. You need to literally tell them, here are my services. Here's where I'm located. Here's who I'm speaking to.
Yeah, and they'll use tactics such as like LSI words. So those are essentially synonyms. So if you are a baker in the Brantford, Ontario area, the first search term and the number one keyword would be bakers in Brantford. However, that's not how everyone searches for a baker. Some people might want a wedding cake. Yeah. So they're not going to search for a baker in Brantford. They're going to search for, wedding cakes in the Brantford area. Some people might want cupcakes or desserts or retirement stuff, or any other variation of that, or a specific dessert. So that's how they will search. So you need to know what it is, how people are searching, because Google will extrapolate all those searches that lead to your website and say, here they are. You want to stay away from industry terms. I know a lot of people like to talk industry speak. I mean, it makes us all sound intelligent from the industry that we're in, but we have to bring it down to how the average consumer is searching for us. So if you're in a technically heavy industry, you just have to understand that people don't search for you based on the tech speak that you're using with the guys in the office or with the guys at the shop. They search for you based on what their needs are. How can you solve my problem? Because there's three things we wonder about when we land on a page. Where am I? Can they solve my problem? What do I do next? So if my car is broken down and it's making a funny noise, and you might say, well, hey, it's the O2 sensor is gone, and that's why you're hearing it puttering out the back end. That's an industry term the guys at the shop might use. All I know is cars running rough or looking for a mechanic and that kind of stuff. So those are the keywords that I want to use. So just want to make sure that you're speaking in human term, as Sherry said, speaking in how Google will index you, which is basically all the human terms. I think there was a study that said out of 100 searches for a product, 65 will be different. Only 35 are the same. So if you've thought of one one keyword phrase for your product, there's 65 more out there if you're thinking of what are the top 100 ways that people find their way to your website.
Yeah, I was actually with the client. It was last year, and it was impactful for me because I'm like, yep, I should be doing this on my own website because I only know, like, I do what I do. But so I was like, okay, you need more keywords. She's like, more keywords? I added all of them. I'm like, no, like off the top of my head, if I were to search your business, here's what I would be looking for. And she was like, oh my gosh, I never thought of that. She's like, I thought like the 5 I had was all encompassing. I'm like, no. And then the keyword research and all that other like technical stuff we do on our end. I'm like, no, you need to add, it was like 15 or 20 extra words, and her mind was blown. So all that to say is sometimes you do need that outside look to be like, okay, you're searching it this way, but when I come to the table, here's what I'm looking for.
Oh, wow.
And everybody needs to. Even we do it all day long, and we still struggle with the same thing. It's almost like editing your own essay paper. You don't see the mistakes.
Yeah, and truth be told, I mean, we have to use programs and software to find all these answers because we don't know all the answers.
Yeah.
I mean, we deal with hundreds of different types of industries where we're trying to help optimize their site and get it ready. So we're not experts in hundreds of different industries. We're experts in a few industries. So we use software and tools that essentially what we do is we go and we look at the top 20 websites that are in whatever area that you're trying to be found, whether that's within Canada, within Ontario, within Southern Ontario or Southwestern Ontario, or within Brantford or within downtown Brantford. We find who your competition is. So if you're trying to rank in downtown Brantford that's the city we're in, for restaurants, well, we're going to search all the restaurants in the downtown area. But if you're trying to ship a medical device within Ontario or within Canada, we're going to search and find the top 10 websites that Google is referring. And then what we do is we reverse engineer them to find out why do they refer this site. Here's something that most people don't realize. They have a 10-page website, but their competition, who's number one, has a 75-page website. Maybe the number 2 one has a 60-page website. Number 3 has a 50-page website. It's going to be very hard to compete with big websites, considering everything else is equal, of course. If Google is rewarding large websites and you have a 10-page website and you're like, I need to compete with them, at some level, it's going to be just hard. It's why Wikipedia is always at the top of search engines, because there's so much information that they have that Google cannot find another answer. So they offer up Wikipedia to say, you know what, you probably are going to find it in here.
Yeah, exactly. So those are 3 tips. You can go right now, shut this podcast off, log into the back end of your website. You're looking at your photos. You want to optimize the ones that are already on your website, and maybe even put some time aside to take new pictures of your products. Number 2 was...
Update keywords.
Update your keywords.
Make sure you're not just using one keyword that's on there.
Yeah.
And then lastly, if you don't have access to the website, or you're like, I don't know how to do that stuff, go on to anything that links to your website. So on a Facebook post, and you can say, hey, if you're looking for this service, give us a call. We'd love to help out. Put the link there. Facebook does this great job of grabbing the image for that page, bringing it into Facebook and sharing it. That's linking to it. Go to your Google My Business. add some content there to just keep seeding and getting the word out. And that you're a farmer for your own business, and you got to continually seed the earth to be found.
Yeah, it's not a one and done. Like any digital marketing is not one and done. It's continual.
I think I've got more metaphors if you need me to, but we're talking seeding, we're talking mechanic, we're talking gym, marathon, all of it. So just get practicing.
All right.
So thanks a lot, Sherry, for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for listening, and